Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, RJ, and joined by my legendary co-host and champion mates, Scott the Gooner and Rob the Red Devil. How are we this evening, gentlemen?
Robbie?
Oh, mate,
He's buzzing.
I'm sure you guys both know how I am, but I've got a beverage to get me through it. Let's get through it.
Nice. I was contemplating printing a nice little A4 picture and dancing around and celebrating. But you know what? I thought, Scott, you need to be the bigger man. And you said when Robbie was pulling those stunts, you said it's a long season. And at some point, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. But anyone that watched me on Down Under Football Crew last night, I have a feeling you might be a little bit surprised by my reaction to this whole situation. So I'm not going to jump too far in. RJ, how are you, man?
Mate, I'm flying. What can I say? At poor Rob's dismay, some of us are in seventh heaven. I'm top of the league, as I said last night. Top of the league, 7-0, Kings of Europe. It doesn't get much better to be a Blue right now. Look, I'll save all that, but I'm just excited to unpack what's going to be a great discussion.
Well, mate, it should be cracking. Look, in the live chat tonight, you may notice, hopefully you can see it, I've pinned a tweet at the top with a link to join us on the stream. We're not going to run with that right now. We'll do that in the second half of the show. But if you want to jump in, if you want to have your say, you want to ask questions, you want to celebrate your team's result, or maybe
even highlight a key moment from a game you've watched that maybe didn't get noticed. So anything really.
So if you're keen to jump in, just listen out for that. Later on, we'll kind of say if anyone wants to jump in, use that link now, because we love having you guys in the live chat. You make the show so much better. And if you want to jump on stream, we thought, why not? I've also put a poll in there as well saying, can Ollie redeem the season? Yes, no, or unsure. Vote with that honestly. We'll refer to that because obviously a large part of our show tonight is going to be around Ollie and around Man United and Liverpool. Let's not forget them. So, boys, look at the live chat. RJ, you want to shout some of these fine people out?
Yeah, first of all, the first one in the house, we got VJ for Sports. Good to see you, my man. We got Scouse Wanderer. Evening, Robert. I wonder who he goes for. So excellent work.
Congrats, mate.
You know what? Before I have to say this, before we thank all these other people, Nick last week done a fantastic job for filling in, by the way. Nick, we haven't had a chat yet, man, but great work, and I can't wait to link up, but he must be buzzing. Just wanted to say, Rob is the most accountable and honest Man United fan we'll have. Win, lose or draw, he'll show up. So full respect to you, Rob. I just wanted the people to know that, legend. We've also got Ben Fuser in the house. We got Concierge of Crime. Yes, hands up indeed. We got our mate, as I said, Benny, top of the league in the FPL, if I'm not mistaken. I taught him everything that he knows. We got Legs of Rooney. Robbie, how's it going, matey? Legs of Rooney. Let him go, mate. Don't hit him hard too.
I've got this for a reason.
He's apple juice. We've got Davide in the house. JD. And, of course, we got the Blue Lounge. We have Declared as well, my man. FPL, Rubber Ducky. G'day, legend. Daniel Hill, we haven't seen you in a little while, have we, Dan? And our mate from going way back, Matthias Gerich. Good to see you again, legend.
Mr. Martin. Right. Don't forget Mr. Daniel. Don't forget Daniel's one of the OGs.
He's our honorary scorekeeper. And I'm sure the news for me this week's good, fingers crossed. So, but let's go into the results because there were some major results this week, Scott.
Let's start with Chelsea. Hey, let's save United for a bit later. Let's go with your boys, RJ. Seventh heaven. Talk to us.
Firstly, I just want to say two things about that. One, it's good to see us being able to find our goal-scoring boots again, because a lot of the conversation before the last week was, are we just struggling to scrape to get over the line here, despite scoring more goals than what we had at this point in last season? There were some question marks about the fluidity of our attack and whether or not we're just getting a little bit lucky. Whereas in this game, and I know it's Norwich. Let's be honest, there wasn't a world-class team. They're Norwich. They're the bottom of the league for a reason. But you can only play what's in front of you. And what we did was we went out there and absolutely obliterated them. I like that. Ollie, feel free to ring up. We've put the link in the chat. We want to hear from
100%.
yourself, Mr. Solskjaer. We know it's tough. But coming back to Chelsea just quickly, 7 great goals, one of them an own goal, of course. But Callum Hudson-Odoi, top finish. Mason Mount, hat-trick. The first one was my favourite. Ben Chilwell and Reece James. Name another team where the wing-backs are so influential, both in attack and defence. So all round, fantastic effort, but we need to back it up because I don't want to see 7-0 one week and 1-0 the next.
Yeah,
what did you boys think?
To me, I only managed to see the highlights of this, but as I said to you last night, like obviously anyone would love to see their team go out and win 7-0. I can't deny that. Bear in mind the opposition. But in saying that, like other teams haven't been beating them so convincingly. For me, the kind of scary thing is that I don't feel that Chelsea have been anywhere near their best. I don't feel that you've been anywhere near your best. You did this without Lukaku. You did this without Timo Werner.
Christian Pulisic either as well. He's been out for a while.
But I feel like Pulisic's never there, so I don't really count him. But I mean, you've done a great job, and to me, that comes down to, and a bit of a theme of tonight's going to be around managers, comes down to the brilliant manager that you've got in Thomas Tuchel, getting the best out of the team. I was really impressed by Mason Mount. Good to see him scoring some goals, but a convincing performance, to be completely honest.
Robbie?
Yeah, look, I agree. It's pretty simple. I don't think Norwich is no one special to be beaten at this stage. But look, we're in the Premier League, and to win any game 7-0 is a massive achievement. And look, Lukaku wasn't there, so your main striker wasn't there, and it's just going to show that Chelsea's spreading the goals around now and getting the results and jacking up the goals along the way. So yeah, big win. And look, I watched the game, and I think I was actually playing pro clubs, talking to Tom on it, and before the game, he should have put a bet on it. He actually said, this is going to be 7-0. Honestly, he said that.
Really? Wow.
He said 7-0 because it's just predictable, mate. You guys were never going to leak any goals in, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens when Lukaku comes back, because you guys, I know, again, it was just Norwich, but the way you guys were playing was very free-flowing. Like I said, Mount obviously got the hat-trick, and he just looked, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what happens, because I know Kai Havertz was kind of playing your false nine. Yeah, instead of Lukaku. So it'll just be interesting to see, like, if they go another week without Lukaku, and they kind of, who you guys got this week, is it?
So we've got Southampton tomorrow in the Carabao Cup. Then we have Newcastle after that, which has always been a bit of a banana skin game for us. But you know what? Norwich, boys, I'm pretty balanced with these things. How can you not be pumped after 7-0? And while I'm very happy with the result, it's just Norwich didn't even lay a glove, man. Like, they just gave Jorginho so much time on the ball to dictate things. And Kovacic has been low-key one of our player of the season contenders. He's already at 5 assists this season. That's his highest output already, and 9 games in. So if he keeps going about his business, and the pass he did for Hudson-Odoi, another defence splitter, to me, he's someone that's really picked up his game. And I said that last night, Scott. So for me, keep an eye out on him. Don't sleep on Matteo.
And boys, I don't want to put a dampener on, the night of Rob's roasting. But Tom, who's just jumped in, he's chucked this in the live chat. Some really sad news that's just kind of coming out about Walter Smith passing away. For those who aren't sure, maybe a little bit younger, ex-Rangers, Everton, Scotland manager. So
very sad.
An absolute gentleman by all accounts. So yeah, sad loss, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of fans of those clubs and football fans who are thinking about that. And Tom, hopefully, man, you can jump in and join us a little bit later. Would love your views. Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing with that, Tom, as well.
So it was good news for Chelsea, and similarly for me, and for any Arsenal fans who may have snuck in the house, great news for us. We had a pre-season where Aston Villa were trying to paint themselves as Arsenal's new big rivals. They beat us to the signing of Buendia. They did some good transfer business. They were stealing Emile Smith Rowe. Yeah, get back in your holes. Like go back. Know who you are. Know your history. Know that you are a little club. You're not one of the big boys. Even when we aren't up with the big boys on the field, the big boys can't stop talking about us. We're a big club. And we put Villa in their place. We absolutely put them in their place. It's not like me to be cocky. Some of you may disagree. But with the start to the season we had, to see us come out, and I actually feel like minus the first 45 minutes against Spurs, that was probably the best attacking performance I've seen from us because our attack's been poor. Our attack's absolutely been poor. It's been the defense that's been solid. And under Gabriel and Ben White, we're looking like we've got a really good partnership. I'm not saying it's a title-winning partnership. I'm not that cocky, but it's a partnership that I think we can compete with. I kind of got roasted a little bit last night on Down Under Football Crew because I had the audacity to say, and to our live chat, listen to my words, there's no reason that Arsenal can't challenge for the top four. I'm not talking first, second, or third. To me, they're locked in. But seeing how bad United have been, and I had them stapled to be one of the top four, there's no reason we can't challenge. I truly believe that. I don't think we'll finish in fourth. But look at the table. Look at United. Then you've got West Ham, Spurs. I feel we're kind of in a similar pool as those guys at the moment. Emil Smith-Rowe, who I'm repping tonight on the back here, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So stoked. We've got a pumping live chat at the moment. We've got a few guys who are kind of waiting to jump on the stream a bit later. We haven't forgot you. We will put you guys in the second half of the stream. But feel free. Tell me if you think I'm absolutely wrong. I can see some comments in the live chat, but don't forget to hit the like button.
I was going to say, I don't know, I was listening to Scott then, and I agree with a lot of what he's saying about Arsenal. They're coming back. But to me, there's a couple of things there. So firstly, they have improved. Obviously, the background is they couldn't have gotten any worse to the start of their season, so it was only up. But after that, I do agree the defence has improved, but they've also just managed to be scraping by. Crystal Palace were very unlucky the other week. Brighton should have won. Villa, they deserved that win. They were much better than Aston Villa. But this whole Smith-Rowe business, I liked him. I like Smith-Rowe. But how about this comparison that he's better than Mason Mount?
That's stupidity.
You know what I mean? What do you think? Do you agree, Scott? Or what?
No, mate, look, it's stupidity. I feel like they've both got ceilings that are significantly higher than where they're playing right now. I don't feel that Mason Mount is anywhere near his best. You know, I've got massive props on Mason Mount. I've plenty of time for him.
But at this stage in their careers, he's obviously demonstrated it longer than Smith-Rowe, where I'm coming from.
I actually think they've got more in common than more different, and I'd rather focus on that than saying who's better than who. Mason Mount at this point has more achievements to his name. He's got more appearances to his name, and he's had a bigger impact on his team in the league. So at this point, he's the better of the two. But I think both these guys are really talented young players with huge ceilings. So
I think we can agree they're not as good as McFred, right, Robbie?
Mate, different position. Nah, mate. In a different
McFred had a position.
Don't
Poor bloke.
it, mate.
I know.
Robbie, I'm in the live chat. There's a few people shocked by my words. I knew big words. Marto agrees with me, saying that they just need to keep the team fit, and they could be able to. VJ saying it's a bold statement. What do you think, Dave? Who's a bit of a larrikin, saying that Arsenal will be lucky to challenge for the top 8 in the NRL. What do you think, though, Robbie? Seeing how poor United have been, who we all thought would be doing much better. Do you think I'm being completely unrealistic saying that Arsenal could challenge, not definite, could challenge?
Mate, the first thing I'll say is it's football. Anything can happen. Leicester won the Premier League in 2016, whatever it was. Brighton are sitting around the top 5 at the moment. Sheffield United a couple of years ago was sitting around the European positions. Anything can, it's round 9 out of 38 games. I think a lot of people are getting excited and depressed and all the feelings are coming out. And that's fair enough because we can only react to what's happening in front of us. But look, the first few weeks we've seen what you guys were like, and we're like, geez, we'll be lucky if it's mid-table again.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have obviously got a little bit of form. You got players back, getting a bit of chemistry, getting a little bit of form. Again, like I said, you had a couple good results there, and then obviously you came to the Brighton one, and that was a bit of a stalemate. Okay, back on the brakes again, and then I watched your game on the weekend. I messaged you and I said, look, I think that was one of your best performances, as you said. They're starting to starting to get on the score sheet, like you said. Smith Rowe's getting involved. I said if you start Lacazette, you're gonna win this game. He started again. You know how much I rate him, but look. I don't know how high Arsenal can go as in gears, if you know what I mean. Like, you said that first 40 against Spurs and this one here. What gear do you think they'll win? How many gears do you reckon they can go up from where they are right now? We're in our worst rock bottom at the moment. Yes, you guys have caught us up. We're on even points at the moment, but we are literally rock bottom in the worst form. And you guys are, I don't know what you would say your form is. Is it mediocre? Is it just above average? So, yeah, I don't know. And like I said, it's not just us. As your Leicester's starting to get a little bit of momentum happening. West Ham is got a good win against Spurs this week, so they're going to be, linking around. There's so many people that can go for that fourth spot because, like we all know, I think that top three between City, Liverpool, and Chelsea are locked. Look, it's round 9, but they look locked in. They look like the best teams and the most informed teams in the Premier League. Look, like exactly what you said. Arsenal could challenge. But they could lose next week to, is it Leicester? I think you've got. That'll be a cracker game. And then, again, we're straight away talking about could you make Europa League or could you make
it's definitely not unreasonable, isn't it? Like for me, it's a safe statement to say they could challenge because they're not in relegation contenders. It's round 9. They're in the mix. Of course, they technically could challenge based on who's around them at the moment. It's just based on not just 2 weeks of form, but based on potential, who's around them. What is the likelihood that they will finish around the top 4 mark? That's the question I'd be asking. Definitely could challenge, but will they be in the mix? Time will tell.
Yeah, and look, before we move on to our next fixture, I want to address this on because this is true, and this just shows football is such an emotional sport. FPL Rubber Ducky is saying he thinks West Ham will get it, and he was saying that after game week 3, I wanted Arteta out, and now I'm talking top 4. You know what? I still don't think Arteta's the man. I quite frankly don't think he is.
And I don't think the West Ham will get top 4 either.
What frustrates me with Arteta is that we have to have some really poor performances before he tweaks the system. It happened last season. We were near our rock bottom when he bought in Emil Smith-Rowe and gave him a chance. And Emil Smith-Rowe turned us around with Bukayo Saka. This season, Lacazette couldn't get a minute of game time. All of a sudden, Lacazette's starting to get some minutes. He's starting to play up front in that more holding role, which is bringing out the best in some around him. So I don't like that with Arteta, it takes so long for him to change it up because now all of a sudden Lacaz's playing, points are coming. And I do think Lacaz suits his system best. I've said numerous times, Aubameyang is not the striker to play at the front of that system. So, look, interesting times. Who knows? Perspectives might change a million more times this season. I really want to get to United. I can see we've got some people waiting at the back who want to jump on the stream. We will do that soon, so hang tight. We haven't forgotten you back there. But let's quickly chat about West Ham and let's quickly chat about Man City. I didn't get to watch the Man City game. RJ, did you watch that one?
I saw the extended highlights of it, and I'll just say a couple very quick things on it. City, I think, they did very well at times to show that they could play the other side of the game, and sometimes it's okay. I like the singlets. We need to get the singlet Robbie back. He's our favourite alter ego.
It was never going to be tonight. It will come back, but not tonight.
We'll need to get it. The Rob Wog styles, it's good. But for me, back to the City game, what I liked about them is they were able to absorb a bit of Brighton pressure off the ball and actually strategically counter them. And I think a couple of their goals were quite fortuitous with deflections and OGs basically, but in the end, against Brighton, who are very informed at the moment, or based on the right end of the table, winning 4-1 at their stadium should not be something that we just overlook. I know Chelsea won 7-0, I know Liverpool won 5-0, But amongst all of that noise, City winning 4-1 at Brighton's a very serious result. So for me, very big performance from them, and they continue to fly under the radar. I don't know how reigning champions do that, but not enough people are still talking them up.
Yeah, look, Robbie, you got anything to add on that? Dave's saying, was it Bernardo?
He was good, man. He was very good.
I heard Foden was very good. I didn't see the game, but everyone talked up Foden in his game. So, yeah, I don't know. Haven't seen it.
Man City are scary, and if they go and do a little bit more business in January, I don't know who wins this title at this point. It's too early, I think, to make a call. What about West Ham? We had a London derby. I really wasn't sure which way this one would go. Did you catch any of this one, Robbie?
Yeah, I did catch this one. Look, a very even game, man. There was early on. There was a lot of chances created from both teams. Very open, very up and down. Lots of counter attacks. Both teams had quite a few chances each, and then it came down to a set piece at the end. Antonio put it away off a corner to get. Look, that's a big win again for West Ham. Like I said, I think they've got a really good record against Spurs. But massive win, massive 3 points for them. But yeah, it wasn't at all on any side. It wasn't a one-sided affair. It was quite even all game. Like I said, they had a lot of chances. No one was really clinical on. Obviously, that one goal got it over the line.
And some good saves too, I think, by Fabianski there. Like that header from Kane. What a real good header. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, it was good. And we've got VJ here saying that Spurs lack finesse. West Ham needed to improve, and Antonio did a great job. And more talk about Antonio. Daniel saying Fornals can't score, but Antonio can. So, look, they did a great job. Both of those teams sneaking under the radar a little bit. People aren't talking West Ham as much as maybe they should. But what isn't sneaking under the radar is Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think it would be lazy of us if RJ and I gave our thoughts before you. I want you to kind of articulate where you're at, Robbie, because we know that you're balanced. If you're anything, you're balanced and you're real, and you are true Man United. So tell us what you made of the match itself. Our poll at the moment is saying that the poll about can Ole turn this around, 64% are saying no. I actually thought it would be higher. 27% think he can. I do wonder if there's
a bit of
answer in there. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Fools like RJ. Talk to us about it, man. Is it finished? Is it the end of the story?
For me, yes. And I was one of the people that just wrote, no, he can't turn it around. As I said last week, you guys know me, I'm not one of those people that jump week to week. That was the first time I kind of called him out last week, and the first time I said, this is the end of the line. It's time for a change. And I'm sticking with that. After that Liverpool game, just the look on his face says it all, to be honest. He looked drained. He looked like he was just like, put me out of my misery. To lose to Liverpool at Old Trafford 5-0 it's a bloodbath. It's probably the worst game and the worst opponent to have to cop a hiding like that. And considering the form we're in at the moment, I'm surprised that wasn't the nail in the coffin. He still hasn't been sacked. He's still in at the moment, as we all know. But it has to be the end of the line. I think it's crazy if he makes the Spurs game, because if he makes the Spurs game and wins the Spurs game, you can't sack him after that. So if they haven't sacked him after 5-0 to Liverpool, they can't sack him if he wins against Spurs.
Come on, mate. You've got to at least hold him to Chelsea game. You've got to give him to that, mate, at least.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, if he doesn't get sacked and he does get this, and he is to get sacked, I think the next international break could be the next window. That's 3 games away. That's 2 Premier League games and a Champions League game. And that'll be after the Manchester derby game. So that could be a nail in the coffin. Ole at all. I've said this a million times. I have nothing but respect for him. I'm not one of these people that are going to shout Ole out. But yes, it's not working. It's not working. For the game, I haven't got much to say about the game. I think we had a chance inside the first 2 minutes. After that, it was all Liverpool. They were just pure class. And the scary thing is, Liverpool didn't even get out of second gear, mate. We made it that easy for them. It was like a training session. Liverpool come off the back of 2 5-0 wins. They beat Watford the week before 5-0, and then obviously they just beat us 5-0. Watford put up more of a fight than we did, mate. This Manchester United is supposed to be contending for major honours this year. We've bought well. He's been backed. He knows he's been backed. And at the moment, we are stuck in the mud. 1 point from 12. We've had 3, 4, 5 losses at home now. And it's been 3 years he's been in the job. We can't see. I don't think he knows his best 11. We haven't seen a style. It's just, he looks like he's out of ideas. And I don't think the coaching staff is helping. It's just, we're getting out of the media. We're getting mixed things. The other players turning up for him, or they not turning up for him. Personally, I don't think he's lost the dressing room yet, which is even more concerning, considering that, if they're playing like this and he hasn't lost the dressing room, what happens when the players down tools? It's going to really be bad. So, look, I'm amazed that he's still in the job as we speak. Like I said, nothing against him, but yeah, for me, it's time to go. We need a change, and I think we need to change now. It's 9 rounds in. There's still 29 games to go. We've seen what happened with Chelsea last year. I'm not expecting a Chelsea thing to go in and win the Champions League if we go get a new manager, but there's plenty of time for a new manager to go and try and, get into that secure top 4. And you got an FA Cup, we've still got to be in. We've got Champions League, we've still got to be in. We've still got an opportunity from what he's built to continue to build on from there. This team doesn't need a rebuild. It needs a classier manager or someone that's higher up than Ole to take this to the next level. Because I think he's done a good job in getting us here from when Mourinho left us in a bombshell.
I want to bring up one of Tom's comments because if you haven't kind of heard Tom speak or seen Tom's views, he runs the United podcast with Larry as well. And Tom reminds me of the Manchester United version of RJ, always very, very balanced in his
very handsome.
Wrong comment. Let's look at Tom's. Tom said, Ole's done a great job. But when Sancho, Varane and Ronaldo arrived, his job changed. We're criticising him for a job he isn't the man for. It's now on the club. They're hanging him out to dry. RJ, I want to come to you on that point. Tom's saying that it's on the club. Ole, I don't know, as a club legend, and I was listening to some other people speak, some people were kind of hinting that they felt Ole should have that love for the club to say he's taken them as far as he can and walk away. What
Scott,
do you think?
Just quickly, who's going to walk away from a contract these days? Who's going to walk away? Doesn't matter if you're the legend of, no matter who it is. Why didn't Frank walk away if he loved the club and he was under pressure?
Do you think, though, Rob, do you think he deserves sympathy, though? Because there's a lot of people being sympathetic, saying it's the club, it's this. Shouldn't he walk away and say, you know what?
Why would he walk away? He's going to sack himself and not get paid out. No one's going to do that in this day and age. When was the last time you seen a manager walk out? Tell me.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, for Scott must be having a bit of technical difficulty, but for me, look, to your question or actually to Tom's one about is the club the one that's accountable? I come from a corporate background. The answer is yes. They are the ones who appoint the manager. They are the ones who run the transfer strategy, and they're the ones that set the expectations. And a couple of things from an outsider's perspective is firstly, I don't believe that the club, or the board, I should say, not the club, has the football on-field interests at heart. I believe they see the club as a money-making powerhouse, and they'll keep running it. And Ole is a good ally to have because, unlike someone that's been heavily touted, Conte, Ole is someone that's not going to aggressively push for things. He's someone that's going to run with the show and do with what he's given. Not to say that he hasn't been given a lot because they've heavily invested and should be doing better, but he's someone that's not going to cause any dramas. I agree with you too, Rob. He's someone that now has run his race. He's progressively improved the club, but really, you can only operate within your means and your capacity. It's like you're asking me to run a 10-second in a 100-meter sprint. I can't do that. So get rid of me because I'm not the person for the job. Don't blame Ole. His shortcomings should have been identified by the club and they should have moved him on, in my opinion, a long time ago. But again, the board don't really care where the club finishes because they're making a lot of return on equity. So blame the board, not Ole, in my opinion.
Well, on my end, I want to look at the next side because obviously we're going to focus on Man U and we're going to bring some guys in to share their views or ask a question or do their thing soon. I'm really excited for that. But I'll quickly want to talk about Liverpool because we've talked Man U. To me, Liverpool were phenomenal. I know that you and I maybe disagreed a bit on this, RJ, where you and Miz last night thought it was that United was so bad that Liverpool looked so good.
It was
To
both.
me,
It was both.
Bit of both.
Yeah, bit of both. To me, I think from the get-go, Liverpool just made them look poor. They put them under pressure. Players like Salah strike fear into the opposition, and the defenders look lost. You can see Martor here said he thinks Hendo needs a proper shout.
That outside of the ball, that pass he did. I love the outside of the foot passes. That was amazing.
Insane. Nick, who we're going to bring in soon, saying Kanate versus Fred. It was no contest for Kanate. I just think this Liverpool team are incredibly scary at the moment. The only thing that may save the rest of the league is the African Cup of Nations, because Mo Salah, I said it last night, I'll say it again, is the best player in world football right now. He is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely brilliant. He's the way he moves that ball, the way he has the attacking instincts to either pick out a pass or take that shot in the right location is just brilliant. He is a cut above the rest at the moment. And long may his form continue. The only downside for me was that for some reason, I don't know what I was doing, I uncaptained him thinking it wasn't going to be a tight match. So
rookie era, mate. Rookie era.
Play my wild card early, uncaptained Salah. I just need to move on from Fantasy Premier League this year. Want to shout out a couple of comments from the live chat. Almighty Blues SC will welcome my man, saying mixed reports about Ollie staying, because we're hearing that he may stay. I think if they were going to sack him, Rob, he'd be done. It'd be done by now. So do you think he's staying now?
From what reports are saying, I can only go off what reports are saying, and we don't even know how accurate those reports are. They reckon that they're going to give him the Spurs game, but as I said, if he wins against Spurs, what are you going to do? Sack him after a win? I think if he's going to be there for the Spurs game, he'll be there for the next international break. So you'll have Atalanta and then the Manchester derby after that. If the results still haven't improved at all, mate, he's got to be sacked in an international break. That's probably the perfect time to do it. I think it's now, but yeah, if they still haven't got their contract or they're talking or who they want to get next, they could be unorganized, mate. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. With these guys, they don't care about winning at the moment. A lot of people thought after that result, mate, I thought it was going to happen nearly after the press conference. I thought it was just going to happen or the next morning or now. Obviously, like I said last night, a lot of the rumors started heating up where he could be sacked, Conte could be linked. Obviously, we don't know what's happening. There's always going to be a lot of speculation.
I think, you know what? I think the worst thing to happen was you coming back against Atalanta, to be honest, because they had 5 key players out. You were 2-0 down at half-time and playing awfully that first half. Then the players decided to step up and come back, and that really put the papers over the cracks. But as Scholl said, as you know, he hasn't really been that good with his analysis lately in comparing defences of top 4 teams. But his comments were spot on about them going into Liverpool the way they did, because that was a bit of a misleading result against Atalanta, and they got really, really outplayed. And I agree, just Scott, on the point about Liverpool, because I think there's a whole lot of discussion about how bad they were, but not many teams would have really capitalised on that vulnerability. They were ruthless, and I know Marto before raised Jordan Henderson, but even the likes of Firmino were brilliant. And the fact that they were without Mane, without Matip, and without Fabinho, like, to me, everybody talks about Liverpool's lack of squad depth, but the fact that they played like that without those players in form, big ups to Klopp, as he is doing something really special again this season.
Top class. Look, boys, we've had some people waiting a little while to jump in. I'm really excited to welcome some of you boys onto the stream who have been here for so many. Declared, I'm going to put you in first in a minute. No funny business, my man. This is our pro club's friend. Declared, what do you want to say, dude?
What's going on? First guest. Thanks for the honor.
You're here, man.
First guest on the show. I couldn't have noticed, but Rob's got some patchwork on his wall there. 5 holes to be exact, I think.
Oh my God.
I'm so glad we've done this tonight and started with you, Declared. Hit us up, man, because I want to move to VJ soon. What do you want to say?
Well, I was just happy to be here, really. To be honest, what can you, bro? You look. I don't want to rub it into Robbie, but the Liverpool game has overtaken any other result. I mean, even Chelsea's result, great result as well. Watching that game, Ollie was tactically completely wrong for that. He went at him. There was players that were pressing, team wouldn't press. It was bad all round. A lot of individual performances, but I can't look on that. I can't help notice that Ollie's been given a 3-year contract, backed well. There's no manager that they can really. There's no standout manager out there. I know Conte, but I don't even think they want Conte. So I think Ollie stays. It's going to be very interesting. They're going to get 2 wins, right? And everyone's just going to change. The next 2 wins, I reckon Man United get them, and everyone forget about what happened, and Ollie stays.
Okay. Robbie, anything you want to say about that?
No, I agree with him. As in, I think that I think if we get the next 2 results, I think the board lets this blow over. Okay, it's done. We had a bad result. We got 2 results. He's at bottom and he's taking the team back to where we wanted to be going again. So yeah, I think that's a big possibility. Again, with the Liverpool game, there was a lot of things that was wrong. I think another thing that Ollie kills himself with is playing his favourites instead of form. Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, again, just another example. Probably been our 2 worst players in form this whole season. And they're starting without batting an eye. You've got, Eric Bailly apparently has come out and said the other week when Harry apparently wasn't fit and he got thrown into the team, he said, why can't I play? Or why didn't I get the opportunity? We've got Alex Tellers there. We've brought a left back to push Luke Shaw, who's been in shocking form. He's sitting on the bench doing nothing. We spent 2 years chasing Jadon Sancho and spent 75 million on him this year. Where is he? Sitting on the bench, doesn't even make a pen. I won't even talk about Donny van de Beek. He's consistently going again with McFred. As soon as I seen that lineup, I said, he's going safe. As I said he knows his job. He's under pressure. He's going to play safe. He had 6 defenders on that field again, and we conceded 5 goals. We conceded 4 goals against Leicester last week. We've kept 1 clean sheet in the last 24, I think. If you look at all our stats, we've got relegation form stats. We don't run. Our defense is shocking. We spent all the money on our defense, and it's still shocking. So that's what I mean. It's just everything is going wrong. And look, Liverpool's in the best form of their season at the moment. So look, it just clashed at the wrong spot, and it looked shocking, mate. Just seeing Sir Alex's face, seeing Ollie's face, and then we're seeing Douglish's face. It was just a nightmare of a match, man. One of our worst. I think it was our first time ever losing 4-0 at halftime nil in our history. So it just goes to show nothing's going in the right direction for us. Cristiano Ronaldo scored a goal, got ruled off. Nothing went our way at the end of the night.
Could have been sent off too, to be fair, Rob. That was very fortunate to me.
When I first seen it, I'm like, okay, here we go, might have an issue. But when I went back and had a look at it, I think it was frustration. The ball was still live. I thought he kicked the guy. And was it live? I thought the ref blew the whistle because he clearly fouled him. I've listened to a lot of podcasts and stuff from neutrals just to see what they thought, and a lot of people said that's a yellow card. The Pogba thing as well, that was another salt in the wound. He come on 15 minutes, bang. That's a kick in the teeth to everyone, man. 15 minutes, that's just lazy lunging in like that again. But the damage was done when he came on at 5-0. Nothing was going to change at that point.
All right, let's give Declared a chance. I appreciate you coming on.
I was going to add to that Rod thing, right? You hit on it. When I was watching the game, I actually thought that this was like last year's Ollie, how he picked up, he collected nils, man. And I thought this was going to be that game again. He did it to Liverpool last season, and it was perfect on the counter when they did it. It was a perfect setup they did to him last season. I go, this is the same approach they're going to have, but it wasn't. And now I think we're going to see that rotation that you're talking about. All these players haven't given a chance when these players have been lacking. I think this Tottenham game might be full of those players you just mentioned that are dying to get on the pitch. But yeah, thanks again.
See you, Declared.
See you guys. 7-0. See ya.
Get out of here. All right, VJ, you've been waiting a good while, my man. Let's bring him in. How are you, VJ? What's the time over there, my man?
It's 3:41 p.m. Indian time.
Beautiful.
Welcome.
What do you want to say, VJ?
Just wanted to first of all meet you guys. It's the first time I'm coming on to the IFT podcast. I've been watching the show, but then have never been able to get onto the show. So this time I thought an opportunity. I thought let me come in and meet you guys directly and have a conversation with you. But nevertheless, the last week was amazing, wasn't it? Like the 7-0 victory for Chelsea. Yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan, by the way. You can see it on my shirt. But yeah, just making that clear out there. But 7-0, beautiful victory for Chelsea to start off the week. Arsenal have also bounced back from their bad run of form, so it was good in that way. But then I just really wanted to ask this question to Rob. I know a lot of people have been targeting Rob today because of the performance from Manchester United over the weekend.
Throw away, mate. I can take it.
No, I'm not really gonna rub it on you. This is probably like a question that I wanted to understand from you guys. Like when I see Chelsea's perspective, right? From 2013, okay, let's consider Manchester United first, right? 2013, Alex Ferguson left, Sir Alex Ferguson left, and then you guys had 5 manager changes, if I'm right. David Moyes, Ryan Giggs, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and then now Ole, right? It's 5 managers, including Giggs, kind of a caretaker.
He just finished the season off. Yep. You're correct.
Yeah. And then when you see Chelsea, we've got this ideology when in the Premier League stating that we've got so many changes, manager changes that we keep doing on and off, right? But then from 2013, if you see our history as well, 13 to 15 was Mourinho, and then we had a caretaker and Steve Holland, and then Gus Hiddink for a year, Antonio Conte for 2 years, Sarri for a year, and Lampard for 2 years, and then now Tuchel. So in a way, if you see, it is 6 people for us and it's 5 for you guys. So the way that I see, when it comes to Manchester United, a lot of people say that they like to be consistent with their managers. But from after Ferguson, it's not been that consistency with you guys. Even you guys have been trying to find out managers that could best suit your system. And, you're probably trying to develop a system after Ferguson. So why not with Ole? I mean, just because he's a club legend, does he get a huge run of, years, right? It's been 3 years now for Ole at this point in time. So why not? Even Chelsea, with our history, we've got 6 managers and you've got 5 managers. Why not go for the 6? What's stopping you guys now?
The board. It's simple. I said this today. If this was Mourinho or LVG, people would have pitchforks outside of Old Trafford right now. They'd be calling for his head. But look, it's a loyalty thing. It has to be with the fans anyway. You're still seeing, most of the Trafford end there was clapping him off, and they'll sing his name, and it's just a thing, mate. It's a club legend. There was people that were walking out on the 60th minute in the game. I haven't seen that for a long time at Manchester United. You're gonna have your loyals, your real true Reds there, and they're gonna just support whoever's there, mate. If it's the right thing or the wrong thing. Ollie's, like we said before, is a bit of a scapegoat for the Glazers at the moment, mate. As long as he can try and stay in that top 4, he's a yes man, mate. He's not gonna come out like a Jose or a Conte. He's not gonna put shit on the club like that. He's gonna just continue to try and get results. He loves the club, and that's why I said he'd never walk, mate. No one in this day and age is gonna walk, mate. They want I think Dave's gonna get sacked. He's gonna take his paycheck with him. Why would you walk away when millions of dollars can come with you? It's just like managers. All managers
Makes
are like
sense.
this.
Makes sense. With Ole, he's not going to work. But is it Glazers out for you guys, or is it Woodward out? Because there's a huge difference.
Woodward is eventually leaving. He announced his resignation early in the year after the Super League. So look, I don't know when it's happening. I heard today it could be as far as April now.
It was supposed to be last December, right? But then he's still in the job.
No, that was when the Super League came. He announced he was going to leave, but it's supposed to be at the end of the season. Now it's April. Who knows? Apparently he is leaving. I don't know when. But yeah, look, all United fans want Glazers out. I think that's similar in the Stan Kroenke kind of thing. They're using the club as a cash money, as a cash cow, mate. As long as they get their checks, they don't care. I was saying to the boys today, I wouldn't surprise me if they don't even know what the score was against Liverpool, mate. It wouldn't surprise me if they get the results from live.
I reckon they know.
AVJ, they can't all have the most committed and passionate owners like Chelsea.
Exactly.
Look,
Look,
we're blessed.
as far as I heard, the last I heard, they're overseas trying to get a cricket team or something at the moment. So look, they're not football people. They're just people with money. They're bankers.
For your information, they've lost that cricket contract as well for Ahmedabad.
I heard.
The quotation was like way below, so they're not able to get that as well. So, from my perspective, when I see Manchester United at this point in time, I kind of feel sorry for you guys, but then I'm also excited that the Chelsea match is around the corner, and we get an opportunity to beat you guys as well. But we're not used to beating people with like 5-0, 6-0 and all that. But maybe we could try that with you. What do you say, Ajay? Like, let's try that with a big team for a change.
Show some respect, mate. Come on.
Well, if we can beat Norwich 7-0, then United's not far in.
Hey, VJ, before we bring in Nick, and we're really grateful to you for coming on, I want to ask you a question. Give me a one-word answer, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Emile Smith Rowe or Mason Mount?
Mason Mount any day. Come on.
Money base.
When you're asking me this question, but maybe the comparison should be Emile Smith Rowe or Cho.
Come on, VJ, take care, man. It's been good to have you on. Thank you so much.
See you next time, brother.
You guys have a good day. Bye-bye.
Take care. Nick.
Boys, how are we?
Not as good as you.
Boys, let me first say, out of all the people that have smashed me in the last 2 days, Nick has been the least.
He's waiting for
I messaged him yesterday morning and I said, congratulations. And he look, I don't know if he's going to give it to me now, but he was very, very balanced. He didn't give it to me at all.
Nah, just first of all, shout out to RJ for the kind words on being the stand-in third party for the show last week.
You're a champion, mate.
Having me on. No, like I said to you, Rob, in the message, I said I did not expect that. I mean, I woke up at one point and it was 2-0. I had to go to the bathroom, wash my face, come back, check my phone. Yep, 2-0. Mute notifications because I didn't want to be woken up from anything else. Went to bed, woke up in the morning. Our podcast group chat is flooded. Like, I can't believe that result. This is like never been heard of. Never expected this. I'm thinking, what the hell happened? I see the final score and I just thought, what the hell happened in this game? And then you watch the highlights, and like many of you said and a lot of other pundits have said, Liverpool weren't at their best, but they were still good enough where United were just not at it, where they could just like walk through them. Like, we were so concerned about our midfield. Now, I know United fans like to say that, McFred isn't the greatest, midfield pairing in the Premier League, which you could probably say, fairly that's pretty accurate. But even for ourselves, with a 35-year-old James Milner, a Jordan Henderson playing at the 6 with no Fabinho, and having Naby Keita in there, who has been very hit and miss over the last three seasons, and even then, you don't know what you're going to get with Keita. He scored 2 cracking volleys in the space of like a month, and now he's put in like a side foot pass to De Gea, which I'd never expected he would score. But just the simplicity of simple balls through the defense, that's what was shocking to me, to be honest with you. Like, I thought you guys on the counter-attack would have taken it to us, but it was like you just didn't know what to do when you went forward. Rashford had a few siders, Greenwood had a few goes as well, and the one from Bruno in the first 2 minutes, like, if that it just needs to hit the target, doesn't have to go in, just needs to hit the target. Alisson could have saved it, could have hit the crossbar, whatever. That would have got Old Trafford up and running. But next straight away after, first one goes in, and then it's a second, a third, and a fourth, and then one straight after, and then the Pogba incident. And that game was just very unlike a Liverpool United game. Like I think the boys said, normally you expect a 0-0. And they say like you play to the match, not to the occasion. And we played to the match. And look, let's be real, it's chalk and cheese between us at the moment. But even on with you, Rob, the squad you have, you should be far above where you guys are right now. And I think a manager is probably holding you guys back a little bit. But in saying that, like you said as well, Ole's not going to leave his spot, but I think it was someone commented earlier on, he should preserve whatever he's got left in his own pride. And thanks from Legs of Rooney. Yeah, like keeps whatever pride he's got and say, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to take a step back and head off. And it's akin to like Klopp at Dortmund when they were in the relegation zone. He's like, look, I've done what I can with this club. I'm just going to pack it up and do something else. And thankfully, he ended up coming to us. But yeah, again, that game was just unexpected. I did not expect that at all. And you guys might beat a Spurs. You might nick a draw against City. And, Ole's at the wheel again. It's madness.
No, I agree. That's what I said. It's just papering over the cracks if that happens. That's why, for me, action's got to be done now before the Spurs game. And I'm shocked it hasn't.
Nick,
RJ,
Nick,
what do you reckon?
I've got to ask Nick a question here. Nice to meet you, by the way, Nick. Great analysis. As a Liverpool fan, you must be buzzing 5-0, of course. But thinking a bit more critically, was there anything about your performance you could sort of say, oh, I didn't really like that? For me, I suppose an outsider thought 5-0 up, you've got an extra man on the field. You could have really taken him to the sword. Were you a bit disappointed, or was it just about, managing fatigue, etc.?
Well, that's a good point. I mean, United did have their comeback against Atalanta, but the night before we had our own duel and tussle with a very robust and a very cheeky Atletico Madrid with the Simeone on the sidelines, and it's never fun going to the Wanda Metropolitano, but hey, we got 3 points there. Again, it was another tough game, and also to not start with Mane, to start with Jota, got himself a goal. Loves a goal against United somehow, but he's been a standout performer when we're away from home. He'll always get himself a goal. No Fabinho, which I thought was odd, got a knock, and Kanate starting against alongside Van Dijk, which was odd as well because Matip is normally the player there. I even thought we would have had Joe Gomez in there because they've got the experience of playing together for 2 seasons, like Premier League winners. You know what I mean? But the boys mentioned it on our show last night that Klopp was probably thinking, okay, you know what? We're playing against Rashford, Ronaldo, and also Greenwood. And what Kanate has is recovery pace, and he's pretty quick, and he's a solid fella as well. So maybe that was Klopp's thinking in that. And look, it might have been a gamble, but it paid off in that sense there. And the Ronaldo thing with the kicking out, just so I can put it out there, I didn't think it was a red card. I actually first thought he just kicked at him while he was on the deck, and then you actually see there's a ball there. He's kicked at frustration, but there was no more than a red card, and the scuffle was probably unnecessary. But I mean, it's Ronaldo at the helm, so of course everyone's going to surround him. So
to me as well, just to add in on that, I feel like Liverpool, I know they didn't, it's going to sound stupid, but the last 15 minutes, they just made no effort to go and score another goal. It was almost like, job's done, let's put these guys out of their misery. Our fans are cheering for their manager. It's done. For the last 15 minutes, I was a little bit shocked, taken aback that you didn't try and push for another one because you're in complete control. But as well, you did have that big game against Atletico. Did it shock you at all, Nick, that you guys just pitied them for the last 15 minutes? Or
well, if you said to me it was 5-0 and we scored goals every 20 minutes, let's say, every 15, 20 minutes, I would have thought, okay, cool. You score in the first 5, then you've scored in the 25th, then at the half, then again at the start, then again, and then 1 at the end. But to score 4 in the first half and then 1 straight after, that to me was like, okay, job's done, game management now. And the Pogba sending off made things a little bit easier. There was no real rush forward. Ronaldo did have that chance. I actually thought that was a goal, but I don't know how they chalked it off. But it would have been consolation. It would have been a nice little tally for Ronaldo. Can still do it against the very best. It did seem that Klopp said, okay, you know what, let's not go too crazy here because, obviously they're not going to play in the EFL Cup. We're going to have, basically a whole changed team there. But you don't need to, when you don't need to chase the game, when you don't need to go full steam ahead, you can just cruise it. I think that's what we were doing. And then he took off Firmino, he put Mane on, he took off Milner first half, he copped an injury. I mean, I don't know how the guy's still running up and down like he is at his age. The guy's like a bionic machine. And then Curtis Jones come in. And then Curtis Jones starts, playing well in the midfield as well. And he started doing bits and pieces there. But I don't know, putting United 5 past them, I think that would have just been, okay, we've done our job. Everyone knows what the situation's going to be. Let's just cruise it along. And for United now, it's basically down to them what they want to do moving forward now, how they're going to approach this. Because if you're going to be playing against Spurs and then a City, and in between that you've got Atalanta away, Ole really needs to sort himself out and say, okay, this is the situation here. This is what's worked. This is what hasn't. And I personally think he needs to start using those players he's got on the bench, man. Sancho is not doing anything.
Change something, mate. Just change something. Yeah.
Van de Beek looks like he's bored out of his mind thinking, why the hell did I come here? It's so many of these. And Eric Bailly as well, like, he's been hit and miss as well every now and again. But when you have a fit Eric Bailly, he will still choose to put a unfit Harry Maguire, and we've seen consequences, and I know what that's like as well when we've played our own players who are not fit. So I think Ollie needs to really look and say, I've got a strong bench, I've got quality, I've got hundreds of millions of pounds on this bench here, and he's not using them. I can't understand why.
Nick, spot on, man. Look, we honestly appreciate your time, not only last week, but jumping on tonight. I could listen to you speak football all day. Just quickly while you're here, and VJ as well, who was on before, I didn't get a chance to ask you to do this, but do you want to type your channel in the live chat, VJ, so I can put it up? Nick, just quickly tell people where they can find you if they want to hear some more, man.
Yeah, so obviously we're Liverpool based. We're part of the Red Sea podcast. You can find us at the Red Sea podcast on YouTube, and that's my Twitter handle, which is at Scouse Wanderer. But our YouTube Twitter handle is at Red Sea Down Under, all one word. So you can find us there. But yeah, like I enjoy talking about football. Like I said in the previous show, like we're Liverpool based, but any chance I can talk football in general, I'm more than willing to. I just love talking about football.
Nick, we appreciate you, man. We're going to bring Benny in now.
Cheers, Nick.
See you, Nick.
Take care,
Hey,
Nick.
boys.
Benny, you are the last person we're about to bring in. You are top of the fantasy Premier League ladder at the moment. Just come in and quickly give us your thoughts, Ben. How you
Good
going,
evening,
buddy?
guys. How are you?
G'day, Benny.
How are we, Ben?
Good. It's like to chat to you, RJ, with our Blues sitting at the top of the league. It's been great to see, but don't want to get too carried away. We're only a quarter of the way through the season, and it's looking like Liverpool are looking pretty much the goods at the moment. So could be quite interesting in the next few weeks. So you can see I'm rocking my Italian jersey that I got today. So good stuff.
Blue
But
silver colour.
sorry,
Question
what
for
was
you, Ben. I got a question for you, mate. In terms of our games, I know we've spoken a lot about Liverpool United, obviously very topical, and we spoke about Money Nace and his fine form. But putting them to the side for a moment, out of that game, or just a broader question is, who would be the first name on the team sheet for you if you were Thomas Tuchel? Because I know we've had a lot of good players, but who's the first name on the team sheet for you at the moment?
That's a tough question. I liked what you were saying about Kovacic earlier on. That pass that he put through the Cho for that second goal was just pure. It was a peach. It was beautiful. But I don't know. Like it's a bit like Chilwell stepped up now. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like anyone he's giving an opportunity to is really starting to step up. So
4 goals in 4 games
amazing
now.
in goals. Like look at how many players we've got scoring goals. The 20. We're up to different goal scorers, 20 goal scorers, something on the weekend. Like
Big numbers.
That's crazy.
Big numbers.
Big numbers. So everyone he seems to just be, anyone who's he's giving that opportunity to is really stepping up and challenging. So it's been really good to watch. But yeah, what do you think? Like I put a question in the post before. Like, do you think Lukaku and Werner walk into that team? Like, if we have a really good game tomorrow, like I've just from when I've been watching games, like Lukaku hasn't been performing as is expected, and
that's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, for me,
you think
look,
of the money as well. The money that he pays, like they've paid him, but
that's what I mean. Like, it's the perspective is very interesting here because it's 9 games in. He has started off well. He's tapered off a little bit, but the thing I'd say about Rom, just very quickly, is that he's still figuring out how to fit in, and we're still figuring out how to best use him. So it's very much a case of teething in issues, trying to work out, because he's clearly talented at the peak of his powers, but equally, he's not the same profile of a forward that other forwards are in our team. We're not as fluid with him on the field because he's a lot more central and we play to him rather than a lot more fluid, as I said. But I do think once he comes back, he is someone that's we are going to adjust our style for him. But the takeaway is that we are more than just a one-trick pony. So definitely think that he'll come back in and start firing.
Yeah, definitely. And just with United as well, like as I said before as well, I really think it is the board. Like you look at the board and, as I said in the chat, it feels like they're just trying to get someone in who they can either control or like in the past with someone like a Mourinho who's a bit of an ego, You know, if something goes wrong, they just seem to hang him out to dry. So it's either a strong person who they can hang out or someone that they control. Like, it doesn't seem as though they want to go after someone who is strong but also successful. So it'd be interesting to see
Yeah,
what
good
happens.
point.
Good
Definitely.
shouts, Ben. We appreciate you jumping in, man. Appreciate you
No
tuning in
worries,
as well. And congratulations on getting first place back on the Fantasy Premier League ladder. We probably won't get to cover FPL tonight.
That's all right, guys.
We'll definitely come to that. Ben, take care, mate.
Take care,
Good
guys.
chatting,
Thanks so
mate.
much.
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you.
All right, just quickly, and thank you to all the people that jumped in. So some really knowledgeable contributions. And we will do this again at different points throughout the season. We'd love more of you to jump in. Even if you're on a phone and don't want to use your video, you can even do it from there and just audio only. So a tipping update, because we have been doing our tips. Nick obviously worked wonders for RJ, because RJ is still top 56.
Good on you,
Rob's on
Nick.
48. I'm coming back on 40. Geez, RJ, you've opened up a bit of a lead at the top. Well done, man. Well done.
Thanks, Nick. I think we've been working well together. Look, it's nice to see. It's early days still. You're one good result from turning it around, but I'll take the W.
Yeah, well, it's been a fun show, boys. RJ, gonna let you wrap this baby up, my man.
Yeah, look, I might just hog a bit of personal glory. I just want to share something with the crew here, is that you might have seen in the link, I've been doing this fundraiser stuff for this mental wellbeing program, and last night I successfully hit just over $2,000 raised for it. I'm pretty proud of that, and I'm on 117 kilometers walk now with my 10-kilo vest, so feeling pretty good about myself. But actually, this is a football show, but I don't want to dwindle on that too much. It's been fantastic. Robbie, any final thoughts?
Oh, look, that was a hard one to get through, guys. Thank you for not smashing me too much. As always, live chat was good. It was nice to have some people jump in tonight. Let's see what happens with Ollie. Like I said, at the end of the day, he's a good human, mate. But he's taken us as far as he can from football perspective. I always support him, but I'm hoping there is someone new coming soon. I'm hoping.
Yeah, look, from me, I think when Robbie says thanks for not smashing me too much, he means thanks for not smashing me at all, because he copped absolutely nothing tonight.
Nothing.
Like, we were kind. So I want you to remember that next time Brentford get points off us and you walk in with your little posters, all right? But in all seriousness,
I know.
I think it's important for us to know, like, there are people behind the position. Like, at the end of the day, Ollie's a person. And you could see on his face, no one questions his love for the club. No one questions that probably in his mind, he still does think he can turn this around and wants to turn this around. But for me, it's absolutely done. And as long as it doesn't cross into lines of abuse and people are respectful, you've got to have the conversations. And United, I think, are going to regret not doing it soon, because it will happen. And to me,
and I can speak from experience too, Scott, on that. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen
Lampard.
this.
Yeah.
And I was just going to mention, as someone that's gone through it, Lampard was my favourite player of all time, and he's not just a club legend, he's arguably the greatest of all time, so it even hit us harder. But sometimes, if I was the board, if I had any advice to them, it's don't delay the Band-Aid, just rip it off, because a slow burn is not going to help, because it's actually a double fault. Not only are you seeing the club's legend get dragged through the mud, but the team's dropping points every week. So sometimes you've just got to make the difficult decisions and bite the bullet. But I know what you said before, Robbie, and I agree. The board aren't interested in the fans or the football stuff. It's about the money.
Yeah, that's it. And look, the ultimate credit to Ollie, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, he was out there signing autographs at the end of the game. Like, he didn't just go straight on. If that was me as a manager, mate, I'd be in my car and I would be out of there like a flash. He was signing autographs. Like, what? Loves the club, unquestionable. So that's why I know Tom said he appreciates the balance. It's people first, mate, and that's what we like to do here. So that's it from me, boys. I'm back to work this week, so I'm pretty busted, but looking forward to seeing you both on Thursday again. RJ?
Absolutely. Let's look to lock this one up. Again, thank you very much. We trialed and tested our first phone in. Safe to say it was a big success, as our friends from what's that show? Big Success, he would say, Borat. So for us, happy days. Let's celebrate the week that was, and we'll see you on Thursday to preview the week that will be. Over and out, guys. Take care.
Take care.